Alright, y'all. I'm back at it again here. I was off for a few days working on the drag car because I was pulling a Chevy Silverado 99 into the shop here and dropping the transmission out of it because I was going to rebuild it for a friend of mine, and instead when I got it apart the main gear inside the drum had a nick all the way in the center, all the way around, and the entire pan was filled with metal shavings and clutch dust particles. Which clutch dust, I expected that, but all the metal I didn't. The inner drum was, the entire outside of it and face of it is just destroyed. It's in real bad shape. So I think what we're gonna have to do is just find another transmission for it instead of rebuild that one. That one needs too many internals. It costs like a lot more to actually fix that transmission than what it would be to go to a junkyard and grab one that already works, you know. Anyways, back at these heads. I flip it around. I already installed the first two. Here's my tool, and it does work. So I'll put you on like a fast lap while I get the rest of them installed. That was absolutely horrible. That is the biggest piece of junk I have ever used for a valve spring compressor. First of all, they sent it to me missing the threads on one end, so that it couldn't even properly use it how it was meant to be. And then they made that turn handle so that it doesn't hold itself in there. I'm half thinking about it welding it in on one side. I dropped it like every 5 seconds. My fingers are horrid. Oh, that was rough. I have to admit that was rough, and I'm not looking forward to doing the other head, which I'm not going to do tonight. But I'm going to go ahead and see if I can get this one bolted onto the block, see what happens. Alright fellas, I got the head on, I threw the oil filter on, and I copper coated the head gasket both sides, and I'll show you. I got the Trick Flow rocker studs and the guide plates on. Comp Cams Extreme Energy. Double springs that are good for up to 0.600 cam. And the only thing I'm hoping that I'm not going to have an issue with is valve to piston clearance. I think I was 0.040 down. My piston was from the rim of the block. You know, when I measured it, I think that's what it was 0.40, 0.040 or 0.041, something like that. But there it is. It's coming together. Now I just got to use a whole different day to get the other head done, because I don't have the juice to do 2 of those heads in one day. That's just too frustrating. Whew. But when that's done, I can put the intake on, get my number 1 on top dead center on the compression stroke, and drop my distributor in. And clean up my 4-barrel Holly and throw on there. So we're getting close, fellas. We really are. I still have to clean the paint off this area right here, and the area right here, the paint has to come off from, because I need to silicone the cheap gaskets I got for these. Make sure it doesn't leak. But we're coming together. The rockers, I ordered some roller tip rockers for 7/16 studs. So they're coming in. They're not full roller rockers, but they are roller tip rockers, which is all I need for this. I'm not going all out, you know, on this engine yet. It's too expensive, and I just don't have the money. Living on a fixed income, you can only do so much. So, but there you are, guys. Any questions? Just shoot me a comment and I'll see it. I'll get to it. I'm on my YouTube every day. So, I reuse the original head bolts for right now. Just because I had them and I wanted to get it on. But if I end up having any kind of lifting problems, then I'll go ahead and flip them out. But I really don't think I'm gonna. Copper coated gasket, proper torque sequences. These are 1/2 inch bolts, so they're really thick. They don't stretch that easy. And I think it's gonna be fine. So if not, well then I guess I'll learn the hard way. But that's where we're sitting right now, fellas. Go ahead and end this clip off. All right, fellas, been out here back in the shop tonight. This is the next day after we did the first head, and I just finished with the second head. I didn't record this one. You already had the first one in slow-mo and fast motion, so you know, I just wanted to get this done up with right there. They're finally all done, all in there. All the valves are lapped, and it should be good to go. So I guess we'll find out. I don't know if these stock valves or what. I don't know what valves was even in this engine. They appeared to be one piece from what I could tell, but they were dirty. Cleaned them up best I could, then lapped them, and we'll go from there. I guess I'll get this head bolted down, throw the intake on, and then I'll show you guys. Well, fellas, we got both heads bolted down on the block. Oh, I forgot, I got to put the other Trick Flow studs in for the rockers, which are in the mail and on their way here. So whenever they get here. But in the meantime, I'll get those rocker studs put in with the guide plates. Then I'll slap on the intake, and then I'll show you. All right, fellas, I got the intake sitting on there, but it's not bolted down or anything. And that's because I can't find the intake bolts. So I may end up having to go in and order a new set of intake bolts. Anyways, I will go ahead and flip this around so you can see it. It's starting to look like a real engine. I know the color scheme is off, but I had to use what I had in high temp enamel but oh well, shit happens, you know. It saved me money, and it's still painted and the metal's protected. So there you go. It's an assault racing intake, low profile. It's supposed to be good for 6,000 plus RPM, so it should work. That's all I got for tonight, guys. I'm going to go ahead and end this off. I got to order a harmonic balancer and some intake bolts, because the only thing that came with the intake were nuts, no bolts at all. So I'm assuming they were assuming that I had studs already in my heads, which I don't. So it is what it is. I just go order some, get them on the way along with the harmonic balancer. The rocker arms are already on their way. So as soon as they get here, I can get those bolted down and go ahead and get my push rod length and get those ordered. And after that, we're basically ready to pop this baby in there and fire it up. I've got a lot of stuff coming. You'll see, guys. All right, I'm gonna end this off for now. Have a good one. Okay, one more quick clip right here. I just wanted to throw the valve covers on and have a more complete picture. They're not bolted down or anything. There's no bolts in them and there's no gaskets. I just have them sitting there just to see better what it's going to be looking like here. And the exhausts are going to be, when they're bolted on here, they're going to be coming up and forward. So I'm bolting them on upside down to have the exhaust come out the fenders right here. All right, guys, now that's all I got for you. Have a good one.